here is a big moment for the Institute of Fundraising. As I said, it's getting on for 30 years when a few pioneering fundraisers first came together to give birth to what we now know as our Institute of Fundraising. Common standards and raising standards were the first thing that bound that little band of brothers and sisters together. And it's great that today we can reaffirm our professional standards to which we will all work and apply in our everyday relationships with donors, large or small. The 28 or so codes were long overdue for an update, but more importantly, it really was for us to take a grip on those codes and make them relevant for today's fundraisers. The challenge of not doing so is we always face the threat. If we don't keep pace, others will do it for us or to us. This is a great example of our sector taking the initiative and making a brave move. One that wasn't without resistance when we started out, but it's all, I think, been worthwhile in the end. The old codes were long, had loads of cross-referencing, they were complicated, and often really a little bit unclear. They had helped our sector a lot, but we did ourselves no favours in not making them as usable as we might have. We now have, I think, greater clarity in a format that is user-friendly and accessible to all. The codes being too difficult to use or understand just won't work as an excuse anymore. What we have is an online, accessible, simple code that we can all use and we all need to use. It's been a huge project to turn this round, but the end product is really strong. It's a set of standards that we as a sector have agreed in a really thoughtful and planned way. Self-regulation requires a large dose of the self to make it work and be alive. And we are the self, all of you. I think at this moment in time, I really have to say a huge thank you to Stephen Pidgeon as chair of our Standards Committee and all the members of the Standards Committee and all those working groups that have worked so tirelessly to make the codes a reality. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteer hours have made these codes, made them real. So with solid standards as foundations for our fundraising, we will continue to work to inspire public, donors and businesses to give more to important causes for those of us in those rooms that spend all our lives championing them. At the same time, as our Minister knows from experience, we will lobby governments across the UK and local government too to look at how they can continue to support good causes that we all represent. Wouldn't it be great if we could build on our incredibly successful small charities programme, generously funded by the Office of Civil Society, and encourage politicians in Belfast, Cardiff and Edinburgh to invest in fundraising too? I told the Scottish fundraisers just last week that they were laggards in respect of fundraising training for small charities, and England was miles ahead. That certainly got the sporrans waving. Today's news on giving is pretty gloomy, if it is to be believed. And we must take a long, hard look at the UK Giving Report published today by NCVO and CAF. We need to see where this reported decline in giving is happening. We are keen to understand the data behind the headlines, particularly what types of giving and what types of charity are maybe effective. As far as we are aware from our sounding, it doesn't seem to reflect the experience of our own members, with the charities we've spoken to saying that they've seen increases and at best giving from the public is flat. It doesn't reflect the experiences of the small charities we've engaged in our Office of Civil Society programme, which has shown that organisations that engage in fundraising really can diversify their income. I realise this is far from scientific, but I just wonder if you could help me by raising your hands if your giving from the public is up really good about myself. I thought we should point you out. Listen, I don't know if it's true or not. And I know fundraisers are eternal optimists, but heck, I really do think we might have noticed if it was 20% down. Personally, I know individual giving has doubled in the last 4 years at the Red Cross and has grown throughout the recession. Every conversation I have with fundraisers is that giving by ordinary people has held up despite our fears, and I have to say is somewhat humbling during hard times. Let's hope this data is but a blip, or maybe just people being more honest when faced with a canvasser asking them if they're mean-spirited. True or false, we certainly shouldn't be complacent. I won't talk loads more, but I think we all need to understand why we're here today. The success of this launch is really going to be measured by how we all use the code in the future. This really is our moment to champion this as a mark of our professionalism and high standards. This could be the making of us for the next generation of self-regulation in fundraising. It's really in all of your hands now to make it a reality. I'm now going to hand over to the Minister, and I know Nick is on the record as saying he's not one of life's regulators, and I think he truly gets our approach to self-regulation. For that, I think we should all be very welcome. Nick, no one mentioned to me when I